What is going on, everybody? What is going on, everybody? My name is JeffLightsyJr. here with Victory Formation. We have a special guest in the building, Mr. CJ Lockhart, 4-star wide receiver committed to Coach Prime and the Jackson State Tigers. CJ, how's it going, man?
Going good. I'm blessed.
That's awesome to hear, man. Well, CJ, you're going to Jackson State, but before we get into all of that, man, when did you get into football? Like, who introduced you to football? When did you get into it, and what was your first experiences with the game?
So when I was 6 years old, I always been a big Falcons fan. I always like Michael Turner. That was the best running back to me back then.
Okay.
I know a little history. So, just me seeing him, one day I told my dad, I was on the couch. I said, I want to play football, Dad. He was like, you want to play football? He was like shocked, but he wanted me to play football. But, he ain't never forced me to play football. I always wanted to. So, I played for the local team, Union City Eagles. We had won the championship that my first year playing too. So that was crazy to me. And that just motivated me. Like, I can do this now. I can keep doing this and make money at this and change my family life. So,
Absolutely, man. That's awesome, man. And so y'all won the championship. You said your first year playing. When was it? Was it that year, or what year was it that you realized, like, hey, not only do I want to play, but I'm actually kind of good at this too?
When I was 6, I used to play. I used to play running back. That was my main position because of Michael Turner. So I wasn't the 2-back or the 3-back. I was the 4-back. I was on the side of everybody.
Yeah, I remember the 4-back. Yeah, okay.
So, like I tried it out. I started I was faster than everybody. I was stiff arming. I used to train in the backyard with my dad, so I just used stuff he taught me, and I was like, man, I'm real good. But my pops was like, you don't even know how good you is yet. So just
I got you, man. What has it been like to have this football journey and have your dad with you and to be able to teach you and train you and kind of coach you through all this football stuff?
It's a great feeling to have, knowing that your dad who played the football before, and he can he teach me a lot of stuff, or taught me stuff to elevate my game and be who I am now, committed to Jackson State. I never thought when I was young that I'd be committed to Jackson State or in any school. So it just him just being on me every day, telling me this and that, what to do, giving life lessons, not only in football, but just period. That really helped me out on the field and off the field too. So I'm just blessed to have him.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Once again, we're talking to CJ Lockhart, Jackson State commit. So let's fast forward a little bit, man, to your high school career. What was it like when you first of all, I don't know how the school system works in Georgia, but did you know what high school you wanted to go to? And if so, was there any stories about going to certain high schools, and what did the beginning, your freshman year of football, kind of look like?
When I was at Renaissance Middle School, I didn't really know in 6th grade. I didn't really know what high school I was gonna continue my football career. But as I was going to school there, everybody was telling me Langston Hughes, like the school you got to go to next in that area, because it's right up the street. But my 8th grade year, I actually was playing varsity from 8th grade to 12th grade, because I was playing in the spring game and I was still in 8th grade. So
okay,
that's when Coach Boone was the head coach, and that was his first year. But my 9th grade year, we actually went 2-8. Like that was the worst season. But them type of teams for real just build into becoming who I am today. Like we 10-0 right now, but I'll never take advantage of when we was 2-8, like what it felt like. Like we was like number 3,000 state, 20 in the nation. So, I don't take it for granted when people say, "Oh, just go 1-0," because that really means something.
Absolutely, man, absolutely. And so, like you said, going from 2-8 to 10-0 now, but in the meantime, in between time, you were getting recruited. When did you start hearing from colleges? Who was the first college to kind of recruit you, and what was that feeling, knowing the different colleges across the country? When did you come play for them?
So when I was in 10th grade, I had an amazing season, balled out. I had 12 touchdowns, 600 yards, like 30 catches. I was averaging like 30 yards per catch. So, I always wanted to play 7 on. I asked my pops and Coach Hilton, and they came together and was like, he should be playing 7-on. So I played for Hustle Inc. with Coach Tony Ballard, like the best 7-on coach. He the best 7-on. He the best coach. Period. Like I rock with Coach Tony, like for real. But you know, we went to Myrtle Beach or whatever, and it was like coaches there talking and stuff. That's when I got my first offer too from Maryland, actually. And then the second day, I got an offer from Liberty. Then like a week later, I got it from like some other school, but they just kept coming in and they kept seeing my film. You know, Coach Tony put it out on his page, and you know, I was with 4 and 5 stars, so they put it out on their page. They coaches hit me up, this and that. So, you know, that was just the early recruiting process for me in 10th grade.
Absolutely, man. That's awesome, man, to hear that 7. So that you feel like that 707 really helped you like that? Like that helped you get exposure for real?
Because you know, I'm a person that's coming from like the dark. So when they see somebody fast on Hustle Inc., like the biggest 7-on team in the state, everybody want to know who that is because they ain't never seen me before.
That's dope, man. That's crazy how like that works now. Like obviously your tape, I mean, because it's not just the 707. Then they go look at your tape and they're like, yo, okay, this kid went out there, averaged 30 yards a catch and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool to hear that the 707 really helps expand, you know, and get you in front of some coaches maybe you wouldn't have got in front of before. Now you're down there in Georgia playing 6A ball. Who are some of the best players that you went up against as far as whether it's on defense or just offensive players on other teams? Who are some of those guys that's like, well, this dude's a dog?
I say my boy Deuce, and like when we went against DC, he was for real strapping, you know, down. He was holding his own. You know, we'll come at him a few times, but you know, he held his own. Monte too, you know, he had that long run against us at the DC game. That's about it for real, you know.
It's just like that's 2 dudes. That's enough.
You know, I ain't really seen nothing for real for me to just be like, oh, he dog. I mean, it was a running back. Etrian, but you know how that be when the game comes. You can talk early, but when the game comes, it be different.
I feel you, man. Let's talk about that, man. So when you're on the field, are you like a trash talker? Do you kind of just like keep it quiet, or what's? Because you're a fast dude, and I feel like the fast dudes are the ones that talk the most.
You know, going through like experiences in my life and with trash talking, I don't really like trash talking anymore because of what happened when I was trash talking last year. But you know, if somebody, you know, just want to get in my face, I let them come to me first. I let them talk trash to me first. Then I'll burn them, post them on Instagram, post them on TikTok. You know. But sometimes if it's a rival game, I text their girl before the game.
Now, will they bring it up? You text somebody girl before the game. Are they bringing it up during the game?
No, they not bringing it up. So they ain't gonna bring it up.
That's funny, dog, man. That is funny, like the Instagram and stuff. So when you posting these clips of a dude that might have been talking trash and you got him, your team got the win, you got a big play, are you tagging him? Are you that petty where you tagged it? Or are you just letting them, hey, he can see it, he know who he is?
It depends on the severity of the if you going out on me, I'm gonna tag you. But if you chill, if you like, oh yeah, you know, I strapped you a couple times, but you got open a couple times too, then I ain't gonna tag. I'm gonna let you go.
I feel you, man. I feel you. Once again, we're talking to CJ Lockhart, JSU commit, headed to play for Coach Prime in the Tigers class of 2023. Now let's talk about the JSU. First of all, who from JSU contacted you, and when did they kind of get involved in your recruitment, and how did that go?
So Coach Pollock was the first coach he came to my school. Actually, this was during lunch too. We was in school. I was in third block going to Coach Boone called me. He's recruiting office. So I go to recruiting Coach Pollock. You know, he happy, he jolly, he ready to see fastest kid in Georgia, ain't it? I was like, oh, John. I was like, yes, sir. I didn't know who he was at first until I looked down and seen the JSU right here on his chest. I said, oh. I said, what? JSU? You know, everybody was going to JSU, Travis Hunter, this and that. So I was like, oh, John. So it was just like, it was shocking to me. It was like a surreal moment of him coming in there saying I'm the fastest kid in South Forest, and then Coach Deion want me. Like, that's a dream. That's something you can't even tell a regular person. Like, Coach Deion want me to come play for him. Like, somebody, like, if you a regular person, nobody gonna believe that.
You're right about that. And so they came. Was that earlier this year? Was that during your junior year? Like, when did that exchange take place?
He actually recruited me during my junior year when I tore my ACL, and it was like mid-season.
Okay.
So, you know, I was just blessed for him to come in there and still wanted me after I tore my ACL.
Hey, absolutely, man. That's awesome. And so, when did you know that, okay, I want to go Jackson State? That's where I want to play. Did you know it right when he showed up? Did you have to think about it, talk to your parents? Like, when did you know?
When he came in there, I kind of, you know, peeped his vibe. Like, he actually wanted me to, like, come there. And I was talking with my dad. My dad a big Deion Sanders fan. So, you know, he on the study. He on the computer looking up the transfers, who going there, how many yards, like who the offensive coordinator is, all of that. So, you know, we just did homework. And, like, during my track season, I dropped my top 3, but I already knew I wanted to go to Jackson State because we had a talk earlier. And me and my dad and my family, we just had a family meeting about, you know, the pros and cons of the schools, the top 3 schools that I picked, and Jackson State was the school to pick. So that's what I picked.
Absolutely, man. Who else was in that top 3?
Maryland and Colorado.
Okay. So you're choosing to go to Jackson State. That's where you want. First of all, you talked about hearing about Travis's commitment. When did you first kind of learn about Jackson State? Did you know anything about him, or like when was the first time you like heard about Jackson State?
I heard about Jackson State when Coach Deion first came, and we had a big. He was a press conference. I mean, a little booth thing, and he was talking how he want to change the culture there. How he seen a school like Jackson State and want to, you know, upgrade it with the facilities and, you know, this and that, be a big community changer. So, you know, I was already, you know, they was already on the radar.
Absolutely. Now, think about that time when Travis picked Jackson State. What were your thoughts, and when did you find out about it? And what did you kind of like? Because you were in school when it happened, right? Like, so you're like, what was your thing? Like, whoa, okay, Travis just chose to go play with Coach Prime.
I was on the live, and the live was glitchy, so I didn't really see when he was throwing the hats and stuff. But I said, oh, I gotta go now. That's the one recruit in the nation. Like, you know, I feel like if me and him, you know, go at it and practice, that's just gonna make me better, and that's gonna make him better too. You know, I'm very, very big on competition, so I never run from it. So that's what I want. That's what I want.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And you recently took a visit to JSU. What was the visit like? First of all, which game? Because I don't want to mess it up. But which game did you go to?
I went to the homecoming versus Campbell.
Oh, okay. What was that experience like?
And that was the best experience I ever had. I had my homeboy AJ with me. He said that was the best experience. He had the best recruit he been on. It was just they treated me like family. Like, I was on the team already. I was talking to some of the players early in the morning, eating breakfast with them, eating lunch with them. I went outside and seen them walk through. I talked to the OC, Coach Bartolone, talked to Coach Pilot, Coach O. You know, everybody was like a regular, like I was at high school again or something. Like, these folks, I just met these folks that day. I don't even know. They already like, oh yeah, you good, CJ. Like, we got you.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome. And so you talked about getting that off from JSU, and JSU doesn't take a lot of high schoolers, man. So what did it feel to like be a part of a class? I had Jordan Hall on before, and you guys coming together, and what do you think your class will be able to bring to Jackson State starting next fall?
Well, my class, like, I feel like we can bring something, you know, new to the table, like with the skill level we got, how Jordan is, me. You know, I can bring speed, and, you know, I can make 3 people be on me, get somebody else open. So, you know, but it was just like, my dad was always telling me, he was like, oh, Coach Deion don't even recruit high school players like that. He was like, so you got to take advantage of this. That means he actually wants you. Like,
yeah,
this is a game changer. Like, it's finna get real. So I just took that in my thought, in my mind, and it was just like, you know what? Like, he really want me, so I got to go.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Now, CJ, you are known like your speed, man. Were you always the fastest kid on the team? Always the fastest kid at recess? Like when did you realize you was pretty fast?
Okay, one day. Okay, I mean, when I was like little though, I was like faster than everybody. But you know, I used to have a dog, and the dog used to chase me around and stuff. So like, you know, I just put that in the game speed too. And so one day I was at Rock King, and he had set up some hurdles. Like it's like a long facility. He set up some on the turf field, and he was like, "I want y'all running full speed as fast as you can." I was like, "Okay." So first of all, you had to get in a push-up position, then lift up, then run. So I'm seeing everybody else go. I'm like, you know what? I'm finna get through here as fast as possible. So I get down, lift up, I just run. Then Coach Hilton look at me. He like, "Did you get through that fast?" Oh, man. I said, yeah. So he was like, "You do that again. Do that again." My testimony, you get answered right. He was like, "Do it again." So I get back down. Everybody looking at me. They like, "Oh," I do it again, fast. So then I started realizing, I'm like, I'm really fast. Then that's when my dad, he was like, "Oh, you realize you fast now?" He was like, "Ain't no stopping now. Once you take off like that, you got to keep running like that." So that just been with me ever since.
Absolutely, man. Now, so when you're getting ready for a game, who is like a couple of artists, or is there a certain song or certain things that you like to listen to before you hit the field?
You know, it depending on how my mood is, like what the game is, or like what opponent we have. Like DC game, I was playing like Rio, the young OG.
Okay. Rio talks a lot of smack on his songs, man.
It's something crazy because my home Spider-Man, Tank John, he put me on the Rio, and I ain't never stopped listening to him since. It's end of the year. So that's really who I just listen to. Probably Rio, Young OG, Young Thug, Lil Uzi, Future, but it's mainly Rio.
Rio, yeah, that means you listen to some Rio before the game. That means you're trying to go out and embarrass somebody, because Rio be embarrassing folks on tracks. Like
it's like when he rap, I feel like I'm in a movie. Like sometimes when we doing pregame, I'm rapping his songs in my head. I'm feeling like I'm in Madden or something. Like it just feels like a movie for real.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Now, CJ, let's talk about what's taking place at JSU, man. Like, what is it like? Because you were at the game, you were there for homecoming, but to see the nation kind of put a spotlight on HBCUs, but even more specifically on JSU, and knowing that you're going to be a part of that, what's that like from you on the outside looking in, but knowing that sooner than later, you're going to be a part of that? What's that like, seeing all the attention that Jackson State gets?
It's my dad built my mental toughness and my physical toughness, and what to do and what not to do. So, it can be overwhelming, but he taught me overwhelm you, go in there, like how you been going, embarrassing people, get what you came to get for. Like if you came to get that money, come in there, get that money, work every day. You going older grown men who 300 plus pounds, 250. So he was like, you just gotta wake up every day like you got kids. You gotta go in and feel like you got kids, and whatever they bring at you, you just gotta handle it.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Okay, so what does CJ like to do outside of ball? Like, what are some of your things, hobbies that you're into that you like to do outside of playing football?
For real, I'm probably at home playing the game. Now, I'm not really no person that you want to go everywhere. Like, if you want to go somewhere, I'll go, but I'm just not bring it up. Like, let's go to Six Flags, let's go to the movies. And for real, the house is really a date for real. If you just want to go on, if you just want, if you say let's go on a date, we ain't gotta go nowhere special. We gonna go to the crib. We go eat good. My mama go cook us something. We good.
Yeah, it's cool. Like, and that's not a bad thing now. When you get older, the house ain't gonna be a date no more.
I'm gonna have money then, so
yeah.
I'll be at all types of events then, like
I feel you. Now, what you say you play the game? What's the go-to game? What's the game that you playing?
Warzone, Madden, and I'm a big Saints Row fan. So I recently was
playing. Saints Row, yeah, that's a throwback.
I got interesting facts about me people don't know.
Like what? What else is something that you think that people won't know about you that's pretty interesting?
I'm actually a spelling bee champion.
Wow. And what year? What year were you the spelling bee champion? How old?
And this was in elementary school.
Okay.
I was spelling long words too. I won. I got the medal in my closet.
Hey, okay, man. Hey, so you got pretty good. You can spell because I'm awful at spelling. That's why I'm glad we got these computers. Because if I had to write anything, it'd be red lines on all the words I'd be writing because I can't spell nothing. Now let's talk about track, man. You also run track for your school, correct?
Yeah.
What are some of your PR times as far as 100, 200, and what's your favorite event?
The 100 was a 10.75. The 200 was a 21.5. The 4x1 team, I forgot what our 4x1 team. It was like 40 something, 42.
10.75.
Yeah, that one. That was an actually interesting story. When we got to, that was at McKeitron. That's a fast track. So
okay,
when we got there, I was like already sleepy. So I just like we warmed up when we got there, and I slept from when we warmed up to the event. I ain't stretched before the event or nothing. I just got up. They were like, CJ, your event finna start. I'm already late. I'm like, oh, John, these folks done woke me up late. So I'm running there. I get there. I'm sitting down on the bench. I close my eyes. So my homeboy record me sleep. So then I'm up and I'm like, okay, let me go out here. So then shoot, when he shot the gun, I was just running.
And then you looked up at the clock and see the 10.75. Like when they told you 10.75, did you believe it?
Nobody told me nothing. Everybody was just looking like I was the shortest person out the whole like last heat. So everybody was already like, oh nah, we don't even know who that is. He ain't gonna do nothing. Everybody all like, but the only people who wasn't in awe was my track team. They were like, oh, you just ran. And I was like, wasn't paying attention for real. My adrenaline was running. And I ain't look at the clock, and then I knew I came in first. I just wanted my medal for real.
Yeah. Now, what had you come close to that before? Were you always under 10? Or what was
I had a couple races when I did 10s. I had raced somebody. I raced it was like Westlake for the Kevin Cole. What's his name? The track runner who I forgot his name. His name Coleman though.
Yeah, I know you said Christian Coleman.
Christian Coleman, yeah.
Christian Coleman.
I ran close to the 10.75. I ran 10.76. I lost to a senior for the belt of the 100-meter like champion of the region, I guess.
Now, is track something you like, or is track something you do to stay in shape for football? Or is track just something you do because you're really good? What is it with the track?
It's a mixture of all three. People were telling me to run track. Like my 9th grade, I didn't want to run track. But Coach Boone was like, in order for you to play on our team, you gotta run track. So I was like, and he making this mandatory. But I was like, he just giving me something to compete at. And I like to compete. So I was like, I'ma just take it on, do what I do and use my speed, use what God gifted me. And then, my 9th grade year, I came out first meet, won. I ran like 11 flat. So, that was just,
9th grade, you first time on the track, you ran 11 flat. It's crazy, dude. That's crazy, though. It's crazy.
But the win, you had to add the win.
Yeah. That's nice, man. That's nice. So, we talked about some of your hobbies and stuff, man. But how far do you want to take football? Like, what is something that you want football to be? Do you want to just make sure it provides you an education? Is it something you want to play it at the professional level? Like, how far do you want to go with the game?
I wanna play this until I get in the NFL and sit on a good amount of money, like wealthy money, not just being rich. Mm-hmm. We don't use rich, we use wealthy. Like I want my kids to have money too. And then when I get in the NFL, I want to invest it in brands, businesses. I got a brand when I get to Jackson State. That's the brand I want to promote and get that going. So like my family members don't have to worry about anything going work, ain't got to worry about how much money they got, bills to pay. You know, I just want to change my whole family life with what I'm doing, what God gifted me. So.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And talking about when you get to Jackson State, is there what major do you want to major in? Is this something that you're thinking about as far as that? What you want to study when you get there?
I want something with like sports medicine or business or like real estate. You know, I got a couple family members who do real estate, and you know they make a good amount of money, drive Mercedes, like just living lavish. So you know that's something I looked into too, real estate, and yeah.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And once you talked about that, but it kind of goes into my next question. When you're done playing football, say you have a long 10, 12, 15-year NFL career, what are the things that you want to kind of get into outside of football whenever football is done?
Investing, you know, doing the real estate too.
Yeah.
Just, you know, expanding my money, make my money grow while I'm sleeping. You know, how my dad told me how the millionaires, you know, my dad used to work Candler Park Market, and you know, famous celebrities used to come every time getting him like what I should do, what's best for me. Like they'll tell him to tell me what to do, and then he'll take account of that. He'll chop it up, you know, make it to where I understand it, because I ain't never seen $1 million before, so I don't know what they would be talking about, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, just yeah.
That's cool, man, because you know, a lot of times you don't hear, because you're still in high school, and you don't hear a lot of high schoolers talking about investing and passive income is what you're talking about as far as money, making money while you're asleep. Does that mainly come from your dad? Like, are those talks that you guys have often about passive income and wealth? You said not rich, wealth. What are those kind of conversations like?
You know, me and my dad always have to talk about money because I ask him gas money every day.
I can see it. I was there before, man. I don't have to ask for gas money before, so I know.
Yeah. So, you know, we just have to talk about leveling up with money and how to get more money and how to maintain it. And you know, we had talks about, he was like, you got to learn this jump early, so when you get there, have the money, you know what to do. You don't want to have the money, then figure out what to do. Then you late to the party. You want to be the early bird, early worm. You want to get that going while you young. So then when I get in the NFL, have my long career, I can know what to do with the money.
Absolutely, man. Hey, those are great talks, man. That's awesome. You and your dad have the relationship. You and your dad's instilling those values, instilling that stuff into you early, man. I want to ask you, though, I forgot to ask this earlier. What was your dad and your family's reaction when you told them you were going to Jackson State? How did you tell them, and what was kind of their reaction about it?
So everybody, when I dropped my top 3, everybody, all family members, friends, they was like, you know, on my head. They're like, oh, you need to go there. You need to go here. You need to go there. But you know, like my dad, he for real, like, my twin. So he understood where I was coming from. I told him one day, I was like, Dad, he told everybody to leave me alone. Leave. It wasn't overwhelming me. It was getting annoying. Like,
yeah,
everybody saying, go where your heart is. But you know, it's a fault in that sense. You don't supposed to go where your heart, where your mind go. Your heart can tell you one thing, but your brain gonna tell you what's right.
Absolutely. So you said, so when you came and told him, what was his reaction when you finally said, okay, Dad, I have the top 3, but I know where I want to go? What was his reaction?
I knew it. Yeah, dude, I told him first. He already knew. That's why he was getting everybody on my back, because he already knew.
I got you, man. What is the reception from the JSU fans been like since you've been committed, when you took your visit, and since then?
Yeah, they really hands on. You know, Twitter, like the big platform where they at. So they actually, people was trying to give me gear and stuff. You know, the Blur Nation.
Yeah,
the Shop Heritage. You know, people like that. They really hands on. They really, you know, love to interact with me. So it's people who it's older people I don't even know. As look, I'm going on the official visit. They're like, oh, you can come get a plate from me. I'm in this section. You know, everybody already know me. And you know, when people like want to do the interviews like these, they'll go under the comments, be like, "Oh, we glad to have SRT." So you know, a good feeling to look at when looking at the comments.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, Robert, as CJ, my bad, CJ. I want to get you out on this, man. For the JSU fans that may or may not haven't seen you play, just tell them what you're bringing to the team, both as a player and as a person to the campus when you get down to Jackson, Mississippi.
I'm bringing a fun person who fast, who get open. Once you give me space, I'm gone. Once you I'm gone. I can, you know, make the defense just key in on me to get somebody else open, like I was saying earlier. So, you know, just I'm gonna just go out there and do the same thing I did in high school for real, and just keep working. You know, get that connection with Shador. You know, it's gonna be some things different from high school, but you know, when adversity comes, I'm gonna overcome it. So I'm not really worried about all that.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Now, CJ, tell the people where can they find you, man, both on Twitter, Instagram. Where can they find you? Maybe when your merch comes out, we want to be able to support.
On Instagram, you can hit me SRT_CJ, Twitter, Lockhart 2023. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. Well, CJ, appreciate it taking a few minutes out your day, man. Congratulations on your commitment. Best luck to you the rest of the high school season, and good luck to you in your career at Jackson State. Shout out to you guys for tuning in. Once again, this is Jeff Lightsy Jr. with CJ Lockhart, 4-star JSU commit.